Okay, Coach, just a general statement about today's game.
Yeah, I thought it's a battle of contrasting styles, knowing that Fordham is so efficient on the offensive end, and then defensively, there's absolutely, Coach Gately's teams are always really good at in the country of keeping people low scoring wise, and I think because they do such a good job scouting and player personnel specific, I felt like in the first half. Obviously, with every game, we want to get Kyra and John Quell started, and how can we do that in different ways in transition through our high-low game as well as different calls. But, I think, we got into halftime. We felt some things had worked well. We felt like we had them in a position from a foul trouble standpoint that we could continue to try to get the ball inside, either with the dribble or a post feed, and continue to crash the offensive glass. And I think you saw us when we were at our best in the start of the second half. I challenged a young woman, 2 people down from me, that I thought she could rebound a little bit more, because I think when Hannah Shively rebounds the ball, we really get out in transition and put a lot of pressure on the defense. And she responded, as she almost always does, with 7 rebounds in the second half. But again, I think that part of things, we're able to get the lead with that point, and then, I think with knowing you have another game to play, you obviously want to be able to finish it off playing your best basketball. And even when Fordham had a couple of kids foul out, they're the defending champions. They were not going to go out without a fight, and their kids kept battling. But to be able to finish that off and put ourselves in a position where, we're going to look at, a championship game tomorrow. Again, it's a great feeling. It's another step. We've tried to take a step each year as a program at GW since I've gotten there. And the first year it was, simply can we get to the A10 tournament and win a game. Last year we were fortunate enough to get a bye and get to the semifinals. But I think something that was really important that Kyra said yesterday in this press conference was she still remembers that feeling when we lost to Dayton last year in the semifinals. And I think that part of things, when even when they got it down to 9, I felt like we could get a couple stops and the kids got locked in, and then we were able to hit some of those free throws. Lauren Chase, I think, went 3 for 4. But again, I think I'm proud of our group because we remain true to who we are, rebounding margin, sharing the basketball, having 4 people in double figures, and then really locking in and trying to keep people under 40% field goal defense.
All right, questions? Mike?
In the second half, when you guys got it to 12, I think, and then you called a timeout, and it seemed like you were really wanting them to keep their foot on the gas at that point to keep separation. I don't think they got it close within 10 the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think when you're a team that wants to get out and run and push in transition, you have to make sure how are you balancing that with time and score. You don't want to all of a sudden start taking a bunch of shots at 26 or 22 on the shot clock, and that's what had helped us got that lead. So again, I thought there was a time where I called timeout to just make sure that again, matchup wise, we felt like when the foul trouble occurred from Fordham, they were going to specifically look at a couple of kids to try to carry them through the rest of the game. I just think it's one of those things. They needed to make sure that again we still could push it in transition and get the first good look. But if it was a 50-50 chance, let's make sure and run some offense and then dictate a little bit that we could get good shots late in the shot clock, but still emphasize getting on the glass and making sure that we dug in on the other end and they had to work the shot clock.
Rob?
To either of you. With Fordham having so much foul trouble in the first half, that also means a tremendous amount of stoppage of play, which means you can't get into your transition game as you'd like. How do you balance the fact that there's maybe a bit of frustration there with taking advantage of the fact that they're getting themselves into foul trouble?
Just got to keep playing, and in those moments, get the team together and just say, let's keep going, let's keep playing our game, gonna keep our pace and keep attacking them to, get them out of there. So that's what we did, and it worked to our benefit today.
Even if the stoppage of play, we'll get the ball out, run it down. The plays are going to stop every so often because of the fouls, but at least just the running down the court and kind of getting into our motion, even if we have to set up our offense, is the way we like to play.
Next.
Either of you. This game was very physical. It was 47 fouls between two teams. Can you just talk about that? How did that game build for you?
You know, it was a lot of fouls, but both very physical teams, both very strong, passionate basketball players. So, and you know, you're playing for a lot, so you'll do anything to have the outcome of your favor.
Mike?
Coach, how's Jonquel? I saw she came off there limping a little bit. What was the injury, and you expect it to be okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's our policy not to comment on specific injuries. Obviously, we took her out. There was no need, I felt like, at that point. I thought Kelly Prangy had played really well today and had got her, some good minutes, but I felt like, it was something we could go small there. She's going to be fine. The reason she's not up here is the important part is that we make sure our doctors are looking at her to make sure everything is okay. But I expect her, this is an opportunity to play for a championship. And a regular season game, I think she'd still be out there tomorrow knowing that's how much this kid is a competitor. But she'll be ready to go tomorrow. I just think precautionary, there was no need to have her in there at the end. It actually, matchup-wise, it allowed us to spread things out a little bit and have a fourth guard in there. I think that part of things, when you get that many rebounds and you get off your feet that many times, you may have an injury once in a while. But she's going to be fine.
Rob?
Coach, you mentioned uncharted territory. First time back in the tournament finals since '06, so it's uncharted territory for your girls. How do you prepare them, get them through the rest of today to get ready for the championship game tomorrow? 3 games, 3 days.
Well, I think it started with scheduling. We've played in a championship environment in the Bahamas for the Junkanoo Jam Championship that was back-to-back nights. Last Sunday, we played for a regular season championship against George Mason. So I think they understand that part of things. I think they understand the recovery that you need to make sure you take care of with your bodies playing that third game in 3 days, getting off your feet. We have a great strength and conditioning coach and an athletic trainer that will make sure that they're great 100% on the physical side. I think it is, as Hannah mentioned, a strong-willed, tough-minded group that I know mentally they'll be locked in. It's an opportunity, I think, to play, one of 2 teams that we've played before, and we knew it would be a round 2 with anybody in this and possibly a round 3. So we're excited for the challenge. I think that they've been so good on just when we've traveled, taking care of recovery on off days. It's kind of been our motto for the whole year is our kids just want another opportunity to get better, and that opportunity presents itself tomorrow in the championship game of the A10 tournament. So there's a lot of GW women's basketball tradition and history, and I'm so proud that they could be a part of another chapter of that tomorrow.
Anybody else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.